again. Freestyle, no slipping, shoes tied. No, I'm not tripping. I try breaking addictions. No lie, playback slipping in my mind. Spirits doing overtime. It's cracks I cannot deny. You see, he heard every cry. On him, trust I can rely. My limits be on the sky. Come on and let's strategize. Calling on the most high. In me is just like fire. Draw me near, Lord, I'm here. Wipe away every tear. Only you I shall fear. Be my view, nice and clear. Be the drum in my ear. So your word I can hear. Leave my view in the rear with the thoughts of last year. With your blood I am new. For there will be no proof of my sins from my...
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk with Victory. I am your host, Armira Blackwell, and I am here with my wonderful co-host, Leisha Lee, and the amazing ladies that we have sitting here with us today. And so we are in the month of February, and in addition to the month of February being about love, it is also Black History Month, where we honor the ones that were before us and the many things that they overcame that changed the way that we do things in life today. And so our topic will be more personal, and to ask, what do you ladies feel like you have overcome in life or have gone through in life that has essentially changed the trajectory of maybe who you are, maybe the way that you go through life, how you walk with life, even in your relationship with God, some of the things that you have overcome to pretty much be who you are today. You know, we had Martin Luther King who fought against segregation, and so now we can all be together as one. People like Rosa Parks who didn't stand for anything, and so now we are able to sit wherever we want. So it don't necessarily have to be anything major like that, but if anybody wants to jump in, what do you guys think?
Like you said, Martin Luther King. So mine would be related to Mary McLeod Bethune, who was an activist and an African-American civil rights leader, and she paved the way for women being educators and open up a school and everything. So with me previously, before I became where I am now, unable to work, I was also an educator, Baltimore City and Baltimore County teacher. And also after that, I did residential counseling. But how I would relate that to that is the position that I had as a residential counselor, that no women, I'll say that, a woman has never had that position. So I was the only woman to obtain that position. And during that time, it became so bad that people actually thought me and the owner had a relationship, because they're like, well, wait a minute, several years this company's been open, and no men, all the men, they're the only ones that ever had the position. No women ever had the position. So to obtain that position and for her just to open a door as an educator, and me being passionate about that, striving, implementing different lesson plans and stuff, it opened a door for me to have that position. So I'm related to
That's good.
how
I
she
didn't know
is.
that about you.
Oh, yes. I was preschool teacher also for over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Look, Children's Church.
Okay.
But I was, yeah, you didn't know that? What? Yes.
So I want to say I'm not going to relate it to anybody in the past, but I think I've overcome some things by not. How can I'm gonna word it like this. Not being as passive, I guess. Not being a people pleaser. I think I kind of got over that or whatever, overcome that, because I always I never wanted to disappoint anybody. Yeah. So now I'm like, listen, it is what it is. You're disappointed, I can't change your mind. I can't, change how you feel, but this is what it is. So I think for me, I've overcome being a people pleaser and being more forward with my decision making and stuff like that. And my answer is like no. Instead of saying, oh, well.
Yeah, no means no.
Yeah, no. Like recently somebody said, it was a family member, asked a question, can they do something? No. And I stood on it. And everybody looked at me like, dang, but no.
That was
you say that it's so smooth. It just rolls right off the top.
Yeah.
I need some of that.
I have a cup on my desk at work that say no is a complete sentence.
It
It
is.
is a complete
It
sentence. No is a complete sentence.
Oh, that's good. I want that cup.
Yeah, I was literally at the mall Christmas shopping the other day, and y'all know how like they have the stands in the mall where people always trying to get you to come to that stand. And this lady, and she handed me a sample of something and gave me a whole demonstration and tried to bump the price down so much, and I was like, nope. She was like, well, let me show you. Nope. Like, she took the price all the way down from like $99 to $10, and my answer was still no. I was like, no. I was like, yeah, I didn't spend enough. You don't see all these bags I got in my hand from all this Christmas shopping? Yeah, I'm not spending no more money today. And my no. And I had literally said to myself, if that was me a couple months prior, I probably would have fell and bought something. Like, I've done that on multiple occasions, especially like when it comes to the guys that be in the mall and they got the stuff for your shoes and they be cleaning your shoes. Yes, I have one. I have one because my no is no, but I like that. No is a complete sentence.
Yes.
Boom. No is a complete sentence. For me, I feel like mine would be overcoming like being unsure of who I am. And my mom used to say this to me all the time, that I matter just as much as anybody else. My role in something is just as important as anybody else's role. And so I feel like in this year, when I have really been shown like who I am and just how important I am and just like how much power I actually do have. Now I will never settle for being unsure about myself. I will never settle for anything less than what I am absolutely like. What I deserve, like who I am, and who I am is, you know, this woman of God that God has been building up brick by brick. And so I would never allow myself to be unsure of myself or have low self-esteem or like struggle in my identity, because God has literally labored in showing me just exactly who I am. And so that has something that I have overcome, and now I have the confidence to be able to walk into any room. Like people, I used to have like meeting new people used to give me like, used to make me very, very nervous, because I was just kind of like, I don't know like really who I am, or I went through this phase where because I wanted everybody to like me, my no wasn't no. And I was like this, like I didn't want any problems with anybody, you know. I'm a very, very non-confrontational person. And so I felt myself kind of wavering like my standards, or like kind of stretching myself thin, because I didn't want anybody to, you know, feel a certain way about me. But now it's just like,
This how you feel? You didn't
it
want
is
them
what
to
it
have a
is.
certain opinion.
It is what it is. And so now I can stand strong, stand 10 toes down, and be confident in who I am and how I walk in life.
That's good.
And that's good that you said, because I want to kind of piggyback off of what you said. I know for me, you spoke about self-confidence, and I know several years ago that when I had first started with Victorious Ministries, I know one time I got a good girlfriend of mine to go to the church, and she took me to a women's retreat, and I don't know who was there. One of you guys might have been there, but I dealt with several years ago when I first came to the ministry. I dealt with depression. I dealt with low self-esteem, low confidence, suicidal ideation. I had actually just not too long ago attempted suicide prior to coming. My daughter's in the room, so she probably didn't know that either. But just speaking on it, because it's something that is so common now, so I can definitely say that I've overcome that struggle. So that really touched me when you talked about self-confident, like just, praying and just knowing who you are, having self-awareness, setting your standards, being confident. And let's be clear, because I know I still get nervous when I go into certain rooms. That's separate. I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in my word. I'm confident in what I'm about to do. I sometimes might still get a little nervous in doing so, but that's one major thing that I can talk about. And I feel like it's very it's something calm in a lot of people that everything that looks pretty, you know, it's not always good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not
Absolutely.
good inside. So it's like a lot of times, you know, we may be as adults or kids or whomever may be afraid to speak on how they're feeling because they don't want to be judged. And a lot of times, even now too, you know, a lot of just to speak, like even with our color, you know, African Americans, they're afraid, you know, to go to counseling because they feel like they're going to be judged. They're afraid to get help or afraid to reach out to other people because there's so many different stereotypes out here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, some people feel like they don't want to become one of those statistics or whatever. So I can just say that's one thing for me that I've overcome. I'm proud of it.
As you should absolutely be, as you should be.
I want to piggyback off of what Kim said. I had the same struggle years ago, struggle with depression, low self-esteem, suicidal ideations, anxiety, panic attacks, and to be able to overcome that and now be able to be a mental health therapist and help other people is amazing, because I sit with some people and they'll just be pouring out and then they'll be like, I know you don't understand, but, and I'm like, you have no idea. So sometimes for strangers not to be able to see that I was there too. And if God puts it on my heart to disclose, I'll be like, well, if he helped me through it, he'll help you through. Everyone can't handle, you know, specific details, but definitely to be able to overcome and to be able to help other people is very rewarding. I say right now I'm struggling with, now that I have a private practice, I'm struggling with it just being me and having to turn people away. So that's a good problem, but I still be like, I want to help everybody, but I have to know how much I can do and can't wear myself out as I'm trying to help other people.
That's good. Oh, go ahead, Marcella.
I was going to say, for me, it's a blessing and a curse in itself, but God has given me the gift of, when I walk into a room, really capturing the atmosphere, right? Mm-hmm. And so I have always been that person that would speak up, advocate for others or what have you, but in the trials and tribulations that I've gone through this year, I had to understand that though I am capable of capturing the room and advocating for everyone, sometimes that can be like taking your good and making it evil spoken of. So it's okay to sit back and observe and identify what's going on in the room before basically giving what you have. Yeah, you know, once you get stabbed in the back a couple of times, you say, okay, you know what, wait a minute. I don't have to be the first person to speak. I don't have to be the one that's going to speak up for everybody, because that person is oftentimes targeted in being the one speaking up, you know.
And you know, being that way, I want to say too, you also need someone to advocate for you, you know, so.
Yeah, I know that was something for me, not necessarily being able to speak up for somebody else, but simply being able to speak up for myself, and having the confidence to, or the boldness to be like, this is where I stand, this is how I am, and you either like it or you don't. Right. And that be what it is. I know another thing for me was understanding that what I have to offer was enough. And even if somebody does the same thing that I do, they can't do it like how I do it. Right. And so my gift and my joint is necessary. And it says, the Bible says that every joint supplies, and it literally took for God to like drastically put me somewhere where my joint needed to supply in order for me to see that my joint that because my joint supplies here in this, you know, bigger realm, that even just a small part of my joint will supply in something that may not be as major.
Right, absolutely. And I also found, Mira, that was good what you just said, everybody doesn't share your passion. And oftentimes, you know, in the past, I would be passionate about a certain thing, you know, whether it be in education or helping others or seeing staff members who don't have things and then speaking up so that they'll get it. Then they get it, and you're like, well, why they not appreciative, you know? Like, I just put myself in the line. I got you all this training. You equipped now, and now You're not appreciative. I'm the target. But God has shown me that, yeah, that's your passion. Yes, you have a heart for everybody, but oftentimes, sometimes you got to pull back and, sit back and wait and see how things fall and give a little bit, but you don't have to give it all. So, I'm learning that, yes, it's good to have passion. Yes, I'm okay with speaking up for myself and even okay with speaking up for others, but oftentimes it's okay to just let things go how it's going to be, and let everybody grow together.
And sometimes I just feel like when you talk about speak up for other people, like just where I am and where I am with myself now, I feel like certain people, like depending on their age and stuff like that, but people have to want it. So sometimes too, I feel like you speaking up for them, even though they may silently tell you, but they have to speak up for themselves. They have to want it as bad as you want it for them. So, just kind of like trailing back a little bit. Yeah.
I think another one for me is like, I don't want to say it's kind of, I don't know if this would be considered something to overcome, but I don't spend as much on shopping like I used to.
That's something to overcome.
That's always something to overcome.
Pray for me.
It used to be serious. Like, man, what I used to spend sometimes would be like what somebody would get paid from their job.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like you said, overcoming not having good character when it comes to your finances, spending your money, on things that you shouldn't, or overspending, or being in debt. Before, it was a time I write a check and be like, I don't care about that $35. Now, please.
Yeah.
I'm panicking. Like, who I gotta pay? Who do? Like, I don't want to owe nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in debt. I don't want no sleepless nights. Like, oh, they can't pay my mortgage. They about to cut my BGE off my car. No. That's a real overcome kind of thing.
Okay.
That is a thing. Okay. But along with that, like everybody was saying, I can relate to the self-confidence part, even in my career, like when I first started my job, feeling like I was inferior, or I work with the other community, is the majority. I've been there almost 20 years now, but there haven't been many of our culture that has worked there, or at least in the office, even if they work for the company and work for the office. So for a long time, I was the only African American and the only woman within, the office. So that was a big deal. So overcoming that has definitely been a blessing, and God helping me build my self-confidence, knowing that I do qualify, to sit at the table, to get a paycheck that look like other people's paycheck, and things like that. Like that's a big deal, especially being a Black woman. That's a big deal. So
That made me think of a TV show I was watching, and it was a similar situation like that, but not that matters right now because we talking about you.
No, that's fine. No, but I'm just saying that was a big deal because I was like, I did ninth grade dropout, I got a GED, other people went to college and they finished. I didn't. I just took a couple classes. It started getting expensive. This one, my mind was different. I was like, no, I don't want to go here no more. That kind of thing. But now, as I've gotten older, I do understand education is important. It is necessary, so I'm training my child different where it wasn't important to me early on. I'm letting him know you can go far, with a degree, you can go further, you are afforded other opportunities that people are not, but for me, it was simply the favor of God, so for me, that's a beautiful thing. That's not everybody's testimony, so.
I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking about going back to the question that you asked earlier about the overcoming. I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes because one of the things that I have overcame throughout the years, I wouldn't consider myself an alcoholic, but others might. I guess you would say I was functional, and I used to smoke and do other things, and it was really because like I said, can relate to everything that you guys said and all of those things and different things that I went through. But I was really massing it and like trying to fill a void. And I haven't drank and smoked in several years. And to know me, you'd be like, what? You know, so I'm really proud of myself because it was times I was sitting, I'm like, oh, I ain't never stopping. I can't do this, I can't do that. You know, and I'm so proud of myself because I've stopped, and it's been, like I said, several years, and I feel so much better inside. You know what I mean?
Congratulations.
Yes, I know. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So, everybody seems like they're over the hump. I'll just be transparent.
Well,
I'm
some-
overcoming.
Overcoming is that's
ing working on. So my thing that I've learned some in this year and the year prior is to put my own mask on first. You know, it's great to be a
Tell you
help.
when you're on a plane.
And on a plane, so you're on a plane, but that signals there's some emergency, and you don't reach over and help everybody else and sacrifice you. So I'm learning I don't need to set myself on fire to keep everybody else
that's so
warm.
good.
I don't need to burn my candle at both ends, give up my time, my resources, my finances, anything, to the detriment of my own self. I don't necessarily feel like I have a savior complex, hero complex, like I want to be called to the no, I'd rather be at home alone minding my business. But you know, so in some respects, being the eldest, or you know, you get pulled into situations, or I have aging parents, so you have to lead the charge. Somebody's got to do it. I'm local, but realizing like to sacrifice to the point of my own poor health or mismanagement of resources or time, that don't fly. So. Learning to put my own mask on first, to take care and prioritize myself. Then with what's left, then I can serve, then I can assist, or being open to letting some up. Like, did this person genuinely want your help? Oh, you decided to fix it. Oh, so I didn't need to do that anyway. So I can take my hand off of that. So just learning to put myself first in some things and to only really respond when there's a need. I don't need to fix everything.
That's
And not feel
beautiful.
guilty
And
about
like you
it.
said-
That's the thing.
and like
Not
you
feel
said-
guilty.
Yes, that's it right there.
And like you said, overcoming. We're all, I'm
Yes,
sure,
yes.
still overcoming
Absolutely.
something. We
100%.
just
Still.
spoke about what we think we've overcame.
Yep.
Because I can still put a cape on, you know, and God is teaching me, you interfering with my plan every time you try to rescue somebody or pay for something
Yep.
or do for something. Like you said, they're not asking. Part of it is just our heart, but then you have to evaluate the other part of it. You just want it to be said that Saffron did it, or you just want it to be said that, you know, you was the rescuer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I did that. You
Yeah.
know, so then you have to look at that like, okay, that's a form of pride.
Yes.
You know,
I get
so
you. Yeah.
we're still
Yeah.
all overcoming something, Lavelle. So I just wanted to say I have a lot of things to still
Me too.
overcome. In this walk, I don't think there's a place called arrive, you know, until we get there. You
Yeah.
know?
And that's it, yep.
So
It's gonna always be something.
Right.
pray my strength.
But to piggyback off what she said, like, you have to let God be God, because you never know by sometimes putting your hand in what you're stopping him from doing for those other people. Are you the provider, or is Jireh the
But
provider?
how do you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's when
You gotta
sometimes-
discern.
No.
You know,
Oh,
you know.
You will get a sign. You will know. Yes.
You know, and-
Yes.
but if it's a drain on you, if a strain on you, if it's something
Yes.
that
If you do it easily, then it was meant to
no,
be.
not necessarily,
It don't
but you
necessarily-
know,
That's one of
but
the
like,
signs
you don't
to
feel
think.
ease.
But it don't have to be a strain.
yeah.
I mean, because I do it without a strain. It's not that it's a strain. It's that I didn't give God the opportunity to fix
do it.
for them.
right.
Yeah.
So I didn't give him a chance to be revealed to them, because they called like, oh,
That's
could you?
good.
Yeah, sure. You know, like, did you even think
But
about
God
that?
uses
But-
people,
For
so
me-
that for me that's a struggle. God uses people to handle things. So if I'm in a position where I can, and it is presented to me, do I step in and take care of it because I can, or do I sit back and say, okay,
Well,
let
you
God?
have to
That's
ask
it.
yourself.
I
feel like you should feel-
Yeah.
Right.
Are they able?
Yeah.
Did they try?
Yeah.
Why is this a problem?
So it's a case by case situation.
I think it's case by case, and almost what Kim's saying, like, you got to discern. Are you really released to be the blessing in this situation
Is this a
instead of
cycle that
just
keeps going
right.
and
If it's a
going and
cycle,
going, like-
what's the lesson? What are you really
count
ministering
it.
or being
You
effective?
got paid today? Well,
And people are waiting for you to get paid because they need their money for their bills by this certain
Now,
time
there's
of the
some
month.
people that's overtly users, so I can
Yeah,
draw the line there
yeah.
and be like, nah, I'm good
Well,
on
then
you.
Pastor
But-
said before too, everybody's emergency is not your emergency.
And
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
had to
good.
learn.
Exactly.
Because with my daughter, what happened? Oh my goodness, yeah, I did.
Don't throw her
Because
under
I'm
the
so,
bus.
I have to because I'm always at my daughter. My daughter 31, and if anybody know me, I'm always at my daughter's beck and call. You hear me? And it was mentally draining on me. I have to be transparent that it was that it was physically affecting me. You know, so God, I was in the mirror and I'm fixing my hair and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, this piece ain't right. And I heard him say, move back, leave it alone, step back. I have it. Just stick with her. You know, because at first I was going to say, girl.
I know for me, like when I'm in that situation, like I'm like, you know, I'm a sower. Like I enjoy giving, right?
Yes.
So seeing someone smile, seeing that I can help them, but then sometimes that's damaging. God is showing me that I'm not really helping, I'm damaging. So now I'm being more discerning. I'm praying more, but then also too, I'm looking at them as an individual. What is their character like? Like, is this like a cycle? Is this like a is this someone that's always in this same situation? Like, you got to take in all those things.
Well, and you
before.
can be a sower, and it don't have to be a need. I can sow into Mary, not because she broke, busted, and disgusted.
Yeah.
Mary,
Just
here
to
go
do
this,
it.
because
Yeah,
God
right.
told me to bless
Right,
you.
right,
And all her
right.
bills paid. You know what I'm saying? He said, I give seed to a sower. So when we're sowing, that's to reap a harvest. If somebody coming to me and they got a need, and I'm giving them something, I'm just probably going to get back what I gave him. He said, you give to the poor, you're going to get that back. The poor going to be
And
with you always. But if I'm sowing, it's going to reap a harvest. Now, if you don't pay your bills and you in debt and I'm giving you my money, I'm going to get it back. If you pay me back, or maybe the Lord might bless me back.
And he
But that
will.
don't mean I'm going to get increase from what I gave.
And it always come back around.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
will.
Because what kind of ground am I sowing on? You're not a good steward over your own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think I'm going to reap a harvest from you.
And that's something that they gotta overcome.
I feel like one thing also is like when you find yourself just like giving to people, whether it's your time, whether it's your energy and stuff like that, you always find that now when it comes to you, you don't have the energy to do it anymore. Like I know for me, I struggle with a lot of things. Like granted, I'm a student. I'm really big on. I'm a student. I'm a background person. Like I'll help and everything like that. And then when it comes time for me to put something that I have on the table, I'm not as persistent with it, or I don't push it as much
neglect it.
as I would push something for other people. I don't, sit and focus in and zone in on something for myself like I would do for other people. And that's something that my mom got on me a lot, because it's like, yes, you're advancing other people, like you're helping other people reach their dreams, reach their goals, and I'm happy to do it because I know that when it comes my turn, that they will help me, but I have to let it become my turn so that they can help me. And it's also another thing, like I always had a problem with asking for help, and I felt like I had to do everything on my own. And even when it came to God, I felt like yes, there are things where like we are trying to be God to other people, but there are sometimes where we try to be God to ourselves, where I feel like I went through this phase where I was like, I have to get myself together. I have to clean myself out and do all these things before I come to God, instead of taking my baggage and everything that comes with me to God and allowing him to handle it and not taking his job away from him. Right. And it's something that I'm still like struggling with, something that I'm still going through and learning how to trust him and have faith that if I literally let go and let God, I'll be all right.
Because he good at it.
He's real good at it.
Yes.
Why would I take
So
his job from him?
basically, enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Basically.
Work it out. Go through the process. Walk it out. Walk through the process.
That part. And
Crawl
also,
through the process.
and also understanding that every trial that you go through is not for your detriment. Sometimes God will put you through something maybe once, twice, 3 times so that you can see yourself in it, so that when you get out of it, you can transition and be greater
Right.
than what you were in it.
But you have to take recognition in it. Some people just don't recognize.
Well, ladies, we are unfortunately out of time. This was a good conversation.
Yes, it was.
So to our viewers, we want to thank you for tuning in. Understand that as we've shared some things that we've overcome in the process, there are still other things that we're overcoming. So there may be something that you haven't overcome yet. Don't feel bad about it, but work through it. We want to say thank you to Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries for allowing us to be a part of the vision. Until next time, bye-bye.